On Monday, April 28, 2025, President Donald Trump formally welcomed the Philadelphia Eagles to the White House's South Lawn in celebration of their Super Bowl Licks triumph. The event, marking the Eagles' decisive 40-22 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs in New Orleans earlier that year, was notable not only for the parade of proud champions, but also for one pointed moment: the president's deliberate reference to global pop star Taylor Swift, whose presence at the game had become a flashpoint for fans and media alike. The Eagles secured their championship with a commanding performance at the Caesars Superdome, thwarting the Chiefs' defensive efforts and delivering the franchise its third Lombardi Trophy. Among the sea of greens many spectators was Taylor Swift, in town to support her boyfriend, tight end Travis Kelce. Swift's high-profile attendance drew intense scrutiny, amplified when her face briefly appeared on the Jumbotron during the first quarter. Rather than cheers, the audience greeted her with a chorus of boos, underscoring the complex dynamics of celebrity fandom intersecting with sporting allegiances. That very night, history was made. President Trump became the first sitting US president to attend a Super Bowl. His arrival at the game was met with enthusiastic applause from the assembled fans, a stark contrast to the reaction Swift received moments later. The juxtaposition of receptions did not escape the former president, who chose to revisit the episode during Monday's White House gathering. Standing before the Eagles roster and assembled dignitaries, Trump recounted his experience in New Orleans. "I watched in person. I was there along with Taylor Swift. How did that work out?" He asked, drawing laughter from the crowd. Big crowd. The barbed question served as the centerpiece of his remarks, delivered in a tone equal parts jest and reproach. The president's ability to pivot from congratulating champions to mocking a cultural icon illustrated his characteristic blend of political theatre and personal commentary. The taunt was hardly an impromptu jab. Within hours of the Super Bowl, Trump had taken to his Truth social platform to chastise Swift. The only one that had a tougher night than the Kansas City Chiefs was Taylor Swift. He posted, "She got booed out of the stadium. MAGA is very unforgiving." The post underscored the relentless nature of his loyal base and the heightened scrutiny that accompanies anyone venturing into politically charged arenas. Yet Swift's ties to the Eagles run deeper than a single Jumbotron appearance. Long before public acknowledgement of her relationship with Kelce, she professed genuine support for Philadelphia's NFL franchise. During an Eras tour performance at Lincoln Financial Field, she proudly declared, "I from the Mass." Of course, it is the team, dispelling fan debate over her lyric in A Gold Rush, which mentions an Eagles t-shirt. That declaration reinforced her roots even as her personal life shifted public perceptions of her sporting loyalties. Family connections further illustrate the evolution of Swift's affiliations. Her father, Scott Swift, has been a lifelong Eagles devotee, a fact widely reported and embraced by the singer's Philadelphia fan base. Notwithstanding, the public's focus has since gravitated towards Swift and Kelce as emblematic Kansas City fans, marking a sentimental migration in allegiance corresponding to their high-profile partnership. Against this backdrop of sports and celebrity emerges a political undercurrent. Swift's vocal endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris during the November 2024 election elicited a particularly fierce response from Trump, who exclaimed on Truth Social, "I hate Taylor Swift Day." The intensity of his reaction demonstrated the volatile intersection of celebrity, influence, and partisan politics. Meanwhile, on the Chiefs' side, the family of quarterback Patrick Mahomes has displayed divergent political views. Mahomes himself maintains voting privacy, but his wife, Brittany, and mother, Randy, publicly supported Trump's candidacy, highlighting the multifaceted nature of political expression within professional sports circles. While hosting the Eagles, Trump also revisited an outstanding invitation to the 2020 Kansas City Chiefs, whose White House visit was thwarted by pandemic restrictions. Securing that postponed reception appeared to be an additional goal of the day's proceedings. A potential face-to-face meeting with Kelce, who quipped that meeting any president was a great honor, I think no matter who the president is, offered an opportunity for political détente, even as it underscored the broader narrative of sport as national unifier. The ceremonial aspects of Monday's event adhered to tradition, albeit with notable absences. Trump lauded running back Saquon Barkley for his historic season and highlighted the contributions of quarterback Jalen Hurts, who finished the year with 32 touchdowns. He really played, the president noted. One stellar performance after another, terrific guy. Barkley named Super Bowl MVP, and Hurts represented the offensive prowess that propelled the Eagles to victory. Nevertheless, several key stars opted out of the White House appearance, citing a scheduling conflicts. Among those absent were Hurts himself, wide receivers A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, and defensive standouts Jalen Carter, Brandon Graham, Darius Slay, Jordan Davis, Zach Bourne, Nakobe Dean, and C.J. Busto Gardner-Johnson. The selective attendance echoed past hesitations and underscored individual players' prerogative in balancing professional commitments with ceremonial obligations. That prerogative was most starkly illustrated in 2018, when the Eagles declined to visit the White House after their Super Bowl victory. Then President Trump cancelled the event amid a dispute over national anthem protests and the minimal number of players willing to attend. When the invitation was ultimately extended, team owner Jeffrey Lurie emphasized that attendance would be entirely optional, stating, "Our culture is that these are optional things." Lurie's stance reflected respect for player autonomy and the evolving social climate within the league. In a moment of levity, Trump acknowledged Lurie's proximity as a neighbor in Palm Beach, Florida. "He's my neighbor, right? And he's a good neighbor," the president remarked, a nod to their political differences, Lurie having supported Hillary Clinton in 2016, and their personal rapport. As the White House ceremony concluded, it was clear that only one individual had drawn the president's ire: Taylor Swift. Her booing at the Superdome and her subsequent treatment became the singular point of mockery amid accolades for the Eagles athlete. In blending celebration with pointed critique, President Trump's encounter with sports and celebrity exemplified the intricate dance of fandom, politics, and personal vendettas that define contemporary American public life. Oh.